Hi, I'm Ezra Flam, director and producer of the Belmont High School Performing Arts Company. Thank you so much for watching our production of The Winter's Tale. In the last 12 months, so much of what we normally do has been disrupted, and we've had to change and make new plans and try new things. But one of the things that has been really wonderful and amazing is that the Performing Arts Company has still managed to have rehearsals, have tech crew meetings, and produce a show. Although we can't put this on in front of a live audience, so many of the things that make what we do special have continued for the last several months. Actors in rehearsal have been working on scenes, memorizing lines, and trying out fun ideas. Tech crew is working hard to create light cues, program sound cues, build props and scenery and costumes, film the show, and do all of the things that we do to make a show possible. And we are very proud for you to watch our production of The Winter's Tale. Normally, when we do a show for a live audience, everything you see on stage, scenery, lighting, costumes, props, and sound, is paid for by ticket sales. You're watching the show for free tonight, but we hope you will go to the PAC website and make a donation to help us continue making theater possible this year. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see you in person at a future show.
We are the citizens of Sicilia.
And we have witnessed things most heinous in our time in our country.
It involved the great King Leontes of Sicilia,
his fair queen Hermione,
his noble friend King Polixenes of Bohemia,
and a lost princess.
The story you're about to see lasted 16 years,
full of deceit and betrayal, with broken relationships, new beginnings,
and death. We would like to tell you a story we are calling The Winter's Tale.
We begin in the country of Sicilia with King Leontes, his wife Queen Hermione, and his childhood friend King Polixenes of Bohemia.
Polixenes is off to leave for Bohemia when Leontes attempts to convince him to stay. Polixenes refuses, forcing Leontes to ask Hermione to chime in.
Hermione steps in and repeatedly asks him to stay, until he eventually agrees, and they go off to tell stories of Leontes and Polixenes' youth.
Leontes, watching the conversation from afar, begins to spiral. Seeing his best friend agree to stay only after his wife asks him, forces him to believe that they are having an affair.
A distraught Leontes runs to his advisor Camillo to alert him of his new discovery.
Camillo, baffled by the accusation that Hermione has committed infidelity and is carrying Polixenes' child, politely defends Hermione and explains to Leontes that it cannot be true.
Leontes tells him that he'd have to be an imbecile to not see the truth, ultimately forcing Camillo to tell the king he's right and agree to take revenge against Polixenes.
The king's son, Mamilius, is sitting with his mother, Hermione, and telling her a story when Leontes bursts out of the castle in a rage.
Feeling betrayed by his wife, Leontes approaches Hermione and Mamilius and orders that he be taken away from her.
He then proceeds to publicly accuse Hermione of being dishonest, untruthful, and having an affair with Polixenes.
Hermione is confused and taken aback by the strong accusation and tells him that he is mistaken.
Her words have no effect on Leontes, though, because he's already made up his mind, and Hermione is escorted to prison.
Leontes' attendant Antigonus, as well as the lords, approach the king in Hermione's defense. They advise him to be careful of such strong accusations, for they may end up hurting his son, his wife, and himself.
Subsequently, Leontes decides to send Cleomenes and Dion to Delphos to find the truth from the oracle.
If you shall chance, Camillo, to visit Bohemia, you shall see, as I have said, great difference betwixt our Bohemia and your Sicilia.
I think this coming summer the King of Sicilia means to pay Bohemia the visitation which he most justly owes him.
Wherein our entertainment shall shame us. We cannot, with such magnificence, and so rare... I know not what to say.
Cecilia cannot show himself overkind to Bohemia. They were trained together in their childhoods, and there rooted betwixt them such an affection. Since their royal necessities made separation of their society, their encounters, though not personal, have been royally tourneyed, with the interchange of gifts that they seem to be together though absent.
I think there is not in the world either malice or matter to alter it. You have an unspeakable comfort in your young Prince Mamilius. It is a gentleman of the greatest promise that ever came into my note.
It is a gallant child, one that indeed makes old hearts fret.
9 changes of the watery star hath been the shepherd's note since we have left our throne without a burden. Time as long again would be filled up, my brother, with our thanks.
Stay your thanks a while and pay them when we part.
My affairs do even drag me homeward.
No, 1 7 night longer.
Very sooth, tomorrow.
We'll part the time betweens then, and in that I'll have no gainsaying.
Press me not, beseech you so. Farewell, our brother.
What, tongue-tied, our queen? Speak you.
I had thought, sir, to have held my peace until you have drawn oaths from him not to stay. You surcharge him too coldly. Tell him you're sure all in Bohemia as well.
Well said, Hermione.
Yet of your royal presence, I'll adventure the borrow of a week. You'll stay?
No, madam.
Nay, but you will.
I may not, verily.
Verily? You put me off with limber vows, but I should yet say, sir, no going. Verily, you shall not go. A lady's verily is as potent as a lord's. Will you go yet? Force me to keep you as prisoner? Not like a guest. One of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam.
Not your jailer, then, but your kind hostess. Come, I'll question you of my lord's tricks and yours when you were boys. You were pretty lordings then.
We were, fair queen.
Was not my lord the verier wag of the two?
We were as twinned lambs that did frisk in the sun. We knew not the doctrine of ill-doing, nor dreamed that any did.
You have a trimmed sense.
The temptations have since then been born to us, for your precious self had then not crossed the eyes of my young playfellow.
Is he won yet?
He'll stay, my lord.
Oh, at my request, he would not. Hermione, my dearest, thou never spokest to better purpose.
Never.
Never? But once? Why, that was when 3 crabbed months had soured themselves to death, ere I could make thee open thy white hand and clap thyself, my love. Then didst thou utter, I am yours forever.
'Tis grace indeed. I lo you now. I have spoke to the purpose twice. The one forever earned a loyal husband, and the other for some while a friend.
Too hot. Too hot. I have a tremor cordis on me. My heart dances, but not for joy, not joy. This entertainment may a free face put on. It may, I grant. Oh, but to be paddling palms and pinching fingers as now they are, and making practice smiles as in a looking glass. This is entertainment that my bosom likes not, nor my brow. Mamilius, art thou my boy? Effects! That's my barcock. What a smutch they face. They say it is a copy out of mine. Art thou my calf?
Yes, if you will, my lord.
They say we are almost as like as eggs. Women say so. That will say anything. Oh, affection! Thy intention stabs the sinner. Thou dost make possible things not so held. Communicate us with dreams. How can this be?
How, my lord?
You look as if you held a brow of much distraction.
What? No, in good earnest. Why, Looking on the lines of my boy's face, methoughts I did recoil 23 years and saw myself unbreached. How like methoughts I then was to this young colonel. Are you so fond of your young prince as we do seem to be of ours?
If at home he's all my exercise, my mirth, my matter, he makes the July's day as short as December.
Yeah. So stands this squire with me. Oh, we too will walk and leave you to your graver steps. Hermione, as thou lovest us, show on our brothers welcome.
If you would seek us, we are yours in the garden.
To your own bents dispose you. You'll be found, be you beneath the sky. I am angling now, though you perceive me not how I give line. Go to, go to. Ah, how she holds up the neb, the bill to him, and arms her with the boldness of a wife. Ah. Go. Play, boy. Play. Thy mother plays. And I play too. Yet so disgraced a part whose issue will see me hissed to my grave. Go. There have been, or I am much deceived, cuckolds ere now, and many man there is, even at this present, now, while I speak this, holds his wife by the arm, that little thinks she's been sluiced in his absence, and his pond fished by Sir Smile, his neighbor. Should all despair that have revolted wives, the 10th of mankind would hang themselves. Oh, it is a body planet. How now, boy? I'm like you, they say. Why? That's some comfort. What, Camillo there? Go play, Mamilius. Thou art an honest man, Camillo! This great sir will yet stay longer.
He would not stay at your petitions.
Ah, didst perceive it? How came it, Camillo, that he did stay?
At the good queen's entreaty, Bohemia stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
Satisfy? The entreaties of your mistress. Satisfy. Let that suffice. I have trusted thee, Camillo, but we have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seems so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
Ah, to bide upon it. Thou art not honest, or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, and therein negligent, or else a fool.
If ever I were willful negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence. Be plainer with me.
Have not you seen, Camillo, but that's past doubt you have, or heard, or thought, my wife is slippery? If thou wilt, confess my wife's a hobby horse.
I would not be a stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so, without my present vengeance taken. True my heart, you never did speak what did become you less.
Is whispering nothing, is meeting noses, is leaning cheek to cheek, horsing foot on foot, kissing with inside lip? Is this nothing? Why, then the world and all that's in it's nothing. The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia is nothing. My wife is nothing. Nor nothing have these nothings if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion. And betimes, for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be. 'Tis true.
No.
It is. You lie. You lie.
Who does infect her?
Why, he who wears it like a medal hanging about his neck. Polixenes!
I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress.
Dost think me so muddy, so unsettled, to appoint myself in this vexation? Sully the purity and whiteness of my sheets, without right moving to it? Would I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, lord, and I do. And I'll fetch off Polixenes for it. provided that, when he's removed, your highness will take again your queen as yours at first.
I'll give no blemish to her honor. None.
Go then, and with a countenance as clear as friendship wears at feasts, keep with Polixenes and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the one half of my heart.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady! But for me, what case stand I in? I must be the poisoner of good Polixenes, and my ground to do it is the obedience to a master, one whom in rebellion with himself would have all that are his so too. I must forsake the court.
Good day, Camillo. The king hath on him such a countenance as he had lost some province. I greeted him with customary compliment, and he, a lip of much contempt, speeds from me, and so leaves me to consider what changes so that changeth his breeding.
I dare not know, my lord.
Dare not? Do not. Do you know and dare not?
I may not answer.
I must be answered.
I am appointed him to murder you.
By whom, Camillo?
By the king.
For what?
He thinks, nay, with all confidence, he swears that he has seen that you touched his queen forbiddenly.
How should this grow?
I know not, but I'm sure 'tis safer to avoid what's grown than question how 'tis born. If therefore you dare trust my honesty, away, tonight.
My ships are ready, and my people did expect my hence departure 2 days ago. Come, Camillo, I will respect thee as a father, if thou bearest my life off hence.
Come, sirs, away.
My gracious playfellow. Shall I be your playfellow?
No, I'll none of you.
Why, my sweet lord?
You'll kiss me hard and speak to me as if I were a baby still. I love you better.
And why so, my lord?
Not for because your brows are blacker, yet black brows, they say, become some women best.
Who taught you that?
I learned it out of women's faces. Pray now, what color are your eyebrows?
Blue, my lord.
Nay, that's a mock. I have seen a lady's nose that has been blue, but not her eyebrows.
Hark ye, the queen your mother rounds apace. We shall present our services to a fine new prince one of these days, and then you'd wanton with us, if we would have you.
She's spread into a goodly bulk of late. Good time encounter her.
What wisdom stirs amongst you? Come, sir, now and tell us a tale.
Merry or sad shall it be?
As merry as you will.
A sad tale's best for winter. I have one of sprites and goblins.
Let's have that, good sir. Come on, sit down, come on, and do your best.
There was a man dwelt by a churchyard. I will tell it softly.
There, his train, Camillo with him.
Behind the tufts of pines I met them. Never saw I men scour so in their way. I eyed them even to their ship.
How blessed am I in my just censure, my true opinion. There is a plot against my life, yet I remain a pinched thing, yea, a very trick for them to play at will. Give me the boy. Though he does bear some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this, sport?
Bear the boy hence! Away with him, he shall not come about her. And let her sport herself with that she's big with. For 'tis Polixenes has made thee swell thus.
I say he has not, and I'll be sworn you would believe my saying.
Look on her. Mark her well. Be but about to say she is a goodly lady, and the justice of your hearts will thereto add, 'tis pity she's not honest, honorable. Praise her but for this, her without door form, which on my faith deserves thy speech. But be it known, from him that hath most to grieve, she's an adulteress.
No, should a villain say so, he, or as much more villain you, my lord, do but mistake.
You have mistook, my lady, Polixenes for Leontes. Oh, thou thing! She's an adulteress! I've said with whom. More, she's a traitor, and Camillo is a federary with her, and one that knows what she should shame to know herself. That she's a bed swerver. Ah, away with her to prison!
If there's some ill plan it reigns, good my lords, I am not prone to weeping, but there is that honorable grief lodged here which burns worse than tears can drown. My lord!
Shall I be heard?
Who's that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women may be with me, for you can see my plight requires it. Adieu, my lord, I never wish to see you sorry. Now I trust I shall.
Go, do our bidding. Hence!
Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence in which 3 great ones suffer. Yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down, and will do it, sir. Please you to accept it, that the queen is spotless.
If it proves she's otherwise, I'll go in couples with her. For every inch of woman in this world I ever dreamed, a woman's flesh is false if she be.
Hold your pieces.
It is for you we speak, not for ourselves.
Cease! No more! You smell this business with a sense as cold as is a dead man's nose. But I do see it and feel it.
You are abused, and by some putter on that will be damned for it. Would I knew the villain.
What? Lack I credit? Our prerogative calls not your counsels, but inform yourselves we have no need of your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on it, that is all properly ours.
And I wish, my liege, that you had only in your silent judgment tried it without more overture.
How could that be? Yet, for greater confirmation, I will dispatch in post to sacred Delphos, Cleomenes, and Dion. Now, from the oracle, you are to bring all whose spiritual counsel had shall stop or spur me. Go. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
Though I am certain and need no more than what I know, yet shall the oracle put rest to the minds of others. Follow us. We are to speak in public, for this business will raise us all.
To laughter, as I take it, if the good truth were known.
Leontes becomes increasingly unhinged at the news that his only son Mamilius has fallen ill.
But it is also revealed that Hermione has given birth to a daughter while in prison. With the blessing of the queen, Paulina attempts to convince the king to change his mind by showing him the similarities between him and the child to convince him that she is his and not Polixenes.
She tells him she is his.
He tells her she is not.
She tells him that she looks like him.
He tells her she does not.
She tells him to look at her.
He tells her he will not.
Leontes becomes more angry until Paulina realizes she can't convince him, so she decides to leave the baby alone with Leontes.
Wanting to be as far away from the child as possible, Leontes takes the baby and gives it to Antigonus, ordering him to do away with it.
At first, Antigonus is hesitant, but then after Leontes threatens to kill the child himself, Antigonus decides to take the child into the wilderness and leave her there.
Good lady, no court in Europe is too good for thee. What dost thou then in prison? Now, good sir, conduct me to the queen.
I may not, madam. To the contrary, I have express commandment.
Here's ado, to lock up honesty and honor from the access of gentle visitors. Is it lawful, pray you, to see her women? Any of them? Amelia?
I must be present at your conference.
Well, be it so, prithee. Dear gentlewoman, how fair is our gracious lady?
As well as one so great and so forlorn may hold together. On her frights and griefs she is something before her time delivered.
A boy?
A daughter and a goodly babe, lusty and like to live.
Pray you, Amelia, commend my best obedience to the queen. If she dare trust me with her little babe, I'll show it to the king and undertake to be her advocate to the loudest. We do not know how he may soften at the sight of the child. The silence often of pure innocence persuades when speaking fails.
I'll presently acquaint the queen of your most noble offer.
I'll use that tongue I have. If wit flow from it as boldness from my bosom, let it not be doubted I shall do good.
Madam, if it please the queen to send the babe, I know not what I shall incur to pass it, having no warrant.
You need not fear it, sir. This child were prisoner to the womb, and is freed and enfranchised, not a party to the anger of the king, nor guilty of, if any be, the trespass of the queen.
I do believe it.
Do not you fear. Upon mine honor, I will stand betwixt you and danger.
Nor night, nor day, nor rest. It is but weakness to bear the matter thus. Say that you were gone, given to the fire. A moiety of rest might once again return to me. Who's there?
My lord,
How does the boy?
he took good rest tonight. His sickness is discharged.
Conceiving the dishonor of his mother. He straight declined, drooped, took it deeply, and downright languished. See how he fares. Go.
Madam, he hath not slept tonight. Commanded none should come at him.
Not so hot, sir. I do come with words to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
What noise there, ho?
No noise, my lord, but needful conference.
Away with that audacious lady, Antigonus! I charge thee that she should not come about me.
I told her so, my lord.
Lord, I beseech you, hear me who profess myself your loyal servant. I say I come from your good queen.
Good queen.
Good queen, my lord, and would by combat make her good, so were I a man the worst about you.
Force her hence.
Let him that makes betrayals of his eyes first hand me. On mine own accord I'll off. The good queen hath brought you forth a daughter. Here 'tis commends it to your blessing.
Out of the chamber with her, out of doors. Away with her. Will you not push her out? A nest of traitors.
I am none by this good light.
Nor I, nor any but one that's here.
This brat is none of mine. It is the issue of Polixenes! Hence with it, and together with the damned, commit them to the fire!
It is yours, so like you, 'tis the worst. Behold, my lords, although the prince be little, the whole matter and copy of the father. Eye, nose, lip, the tricks of his frown, his forehead, nay, the valley, the pretty dimples of his chin and cheek, his smiles.
Tag! Thou art worthy to be hanged!
Most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burnt!
I care not. It is a heretic that makes the fire, not she which burns in it. I'll not call you tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak-hinged fancy, something savors of tyranny, and will ignoble make you.
Out of the chamber with her! Away with her!
I pray you, do not push me. I'll be gone. You that are thus so tender, or his follies, will never do him any good, not one of you. Look to your babe, my lord. 'Tis yours. So, farewell.
My child. Even thou, that hast a heart so tender o'er it, take it hence, and see it instantly consume the fire. Even thou, and none but thou. If thou refuse, the bastard brains with these my proper hands I shall dash out. Go!
Beseech your highness, on our knees we beg that you do change this purpose, which being so horrible, so bloody, must lead on to some foul issue. We all kneel.
To save this bastard's life? What will you adventure?
To save the innocent. Anything possible.
It shall be possible. Swear by this sword, thou wilt perform my bidding.
I will, my lord.
We enjoin thee, as thou art liege man to us, that thou take this female bastard hence to some remote and desert place, quite out of our dominions, and that there thou leave it without more mercy to its own protection, where chance shall nurse or end it. Take it up.
I swear to do this, though a present death may have been more merciful. Come, poor babe. Poor thing. Condemned to loss.
No! I'll not rear another's issue.
Please, your highness. Posts from those you sent to the oracle are come an hour since. So please you, sir, their speed hath been beyond account.
Summon the lords. Prepare a session, that we may arraign our most disloyal lady, and that she might have a just and open trial. While she lives, my heart will be a burden to me.
The trial has begun. King Leontes the judge and Queen Hermione the defendant. Everyone in court believes that Hermione is not guilty.
Hermione is permitted to testify on her behalf. She proclaims that she has always been truthful and honest, but because she is on trial for her alleged dishonesty, this removes any validity from her defense.
Leontes' stance on the matter does not waver, so Hermione calls for the verdict of Cleomenes and Dion, just having returned from Delphos, reveal the oracle of Apollo.
It is declared that Hermione is chaste, Polixenes is blameless, and Leontes will not have an heir until his lost child is found.
Leontes stands firm in his opinion, rejects the message of the oracle, and chaos ensues.
This session, to our great grief we pronounce, proceed in justice, which shall have due course, even to the guilt or the purgation. Produce the prisoner.
It is His Highness's pleasure that the Queen appear in person here in court. Silence.
Read the indictment.
Hermione, queen to the worthy Leontes, king of Sicilia, thou art here accused and arraigned of high treason in committing adultery with Polixenes, king of Bohemia, and conspiring with Camillo to take away the life of our sovereign.
Since what I am to say must be but that which contradicts my accusation, and the testimony on my part no other, but what comes from myself, it shall scarce boot me to say not guilty. Mine integrity being counted falsehood shall, as I express it, be so received. But thus, you, my lord, best know, who least will seem to do so, my past life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true as I am now unhappy. I appeal to your own conscience, sir. For Polixenes came to your court, how I was in your grace, how merited to be so, since he came with what encounter so uncurrent, I have strained to appear thus. Jot beyond the bound of honor, hardened be the hearts of all that hear me, and my nearest of kin cry vie upon my grave. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess I loved him, as in honor he required. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, so thou wilt feel our justice, and whose passing look for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me, life can be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I too give lost. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet. With immodest hatred, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed. But what your jealousies awake, I tell you, 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
This your request is altogether just, and therefore, and in Apollo's name, his oracle.
You shall swear upon the sword of justice that you, Cleomenes, and Dion, have been both at Delphos, and from thence have brought the sealed up oracle by the hand delivered.
The climate's delicate, the air most sweet, fertile the isle, the temple much surpassing the common praise it bears.
I shall report how ceremonious, solemn, and unearthly it was in the offering.
But of all the burst and the ear-deafening voice of the oracle, so surprised my sense that I was nothing.
Enough! Proceed.
These proclamations will clear or end the business.
You have not dared to break the holy seal, nor read the secrets in it?
All this we swear.
Break up the seal and read.
Hermione is chaste.
What? Polixenes blameless?
Blameless?
Camillo, a true subject.
Leontes, a jealous tyrant.
His innocent babe, truly begotten.
And the king shall live without an heir,
if that which is lost be not found.
Blessed be the great Apollo.
Hast thou a truth?
Aye, my lord, even so, as it is here set down.
Oh. There is no truth at all in the oracle. What? The session shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord! The king
What is the business?
Oh, sir, I shall be hated to report it. The prince, your son, with mere conceit and fear of the queen's speed, is gone.
Oh, gone?
He's dead!
Apollo's angry. And the heavens themselves do strike at my injustice. How now, there?
This news is mortal to the queen. Look you!
Her heart has been o'ercharged. She will recover. Beseech you, tenderly apply to her some remedies for life. Apollo, pardon my great profaneness against thine oracle. Too much have I believed mine own suspicion. Oh, reconcile me to Polixenes. New woo, my queen, recall the good Camillo.
Oh,
What fit is this, good lady?
What steady torments tyrant hast for me? What old or newer tortures must I receive? Thy tyranny, together working with thy jealousies, oh, think what they have done. That thou betrayedst Polixenes, 'twas nothing. That did but show thee of a fool, nor was it much that would have poisoned good Camillo's honor, the casting forth to crows thy baby daughter. Nor is it directly laid to thee the death of the young prince. This is not laid to thy answer, but the last. O Lord, the queen, the sweetest, dearest creatures, dead. The higher powers forbid. I say she's dead. But oh, thou tyrant, therefore betake thee to nothing but despair.
Go on. Prithee, bring me to the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be for both, and tears shed there shall be my recreation as long as nature will bear up with this exercise. Come and lead me into these sorrows.
Antigonus and a sailor are walking through the countryside of Bohemia near the seashore, where Antigonus intends to leave the newborn babe to be found by someone else.
Antigonus leaves the baby with some gold and a note, informing the finder to call the child Perdita.
Little does Antigonus know, the creatures the sailor warned him about are closer than they appear.
Then an old shepherd is wandering in the countryside when he hears the cries of an infant and finds the young Perdita.
He contemplates whether he should bring her home to raise as his own and ultimately decides to.
Thou art perfect then, our ship hath touched upon the deserts of Bohemia.
Aye, and fear, we have landed in ill time. The skies look grimly and frown upon us.
Go, get aboard. I'll follow instantly.
Make your best haste. This place is famous for the creatures of prey that keep upon it.
Go thou away. I won't be long before I call upon thee. Come, poor babe. I have heard, but not believed, the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night in pure white robes, gasping to begin some speech. Anon did this break from her. Good Antigonus, places remote enough are in Bohemia. Of my poor babe, according to thine oath, there weep and leave it crying. And for the babe is counted lost forever. Perdita, I prithee called. So with shrieks she melted into air. I did in time collect myself and thought, I will be squared by this. I do believe. There lie, and there thy character. There these, and still rests thine. Oh, poor wretch. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds. And most accursed am I to be enjoined by oath to this. Farewell. Savage clamors. This is the chase.
I would there were no age between 16 and 3 and 20, for there is nothing in between but wronging the ancientry, stealing, fighting. Hark you now, they have scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will find sooner than the master. Good luck and be thy will. What have we here? Mercy's ons! A barn! A very pretty barn! A boy or a child, I wonder. A pretty one, a very pretty one, sure. This has been some stair work. Some trunk work, some behind door work. I'll take it up for pity. Yet I'll tarry here till my kin come. They hallooed but even now. Whoa!
Hello, Loa! Hello!
Oh, what? Art so near? Come hither. What ailest thou?
We have seen 2 such sights, by sea and by land.
Why then, how is it?
Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls. Sometimes to see 'em, and not to see 'em, but the ship swallowed with yeast and froth.
And then, for the land service, to see how the bear tore out the man's shoulder bone, and how he cried out to me for help, and said his name was Antigonus, a nobleman.
But to make an end of the ship, how the poor people roared, and the sea mocked them.
And how the poor gentleman roared, and the bear mocked him.
Name of mercy! When was this?
Now, I have not winked since I saw these sights. nor the bear half dined on the gentleman. He's at it now.
Would I had been by to have helped the old man. But look thee here. Here's a sight for thee. Look thee. A bearing cloth for a squire's child. Look thee, what's within?
Gold! All gold!
'Tis fairies' gold. Mark, and 'twill prove so. Home, home the next way. We are lucky.
Go you the next way with your findings. I'll go see if the bear be gone from the gentleman, and how much he hath eaten. If there be any of him left, I'll bury it.
That's a good deed. 'Tis a lucky day, and we'll do good deeds on't.
Now take upon us in the name of time to use our wings.
Impute it not a crime to us or our swift passage that we slide our 16 years. Since it is in my power, I turn my glass and give our scene such growing as you had slept between.
Imagine us, gentle spectators, that we now may be in fair Bohemia, and remember well, we mentioned a son of the king's, which Florizel we now name to you.
And with speed so paced to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace. What of her ensues, a shepherd's daughter, and what to her adheres, which follows after, is the argument of time.
Polixenes, king of Bohemia, realizes that his son Florizel has been missing for days.
He conspires with his attendant Camillo and figures they should don disguises as they roam the countryside for his son's whereabouts.
Meanwhile, one of the shepherd's daughters is at a market in the country buying materials for her town's sheep shearing festival when she runs into a seemingly injured man, Autolycus.
Autolycus steals some money from the young girl and decides to return at the festival to further his scams.
Camillo, be no more impertinent.
It is 16 years since I saw my country. I desire to lay my bones there.
As thou lovest me, Camillo, wipe not out the remainder of thy services by leaving me now. Of that fatal country, Cecilia, prithee speak no more, whose very naming punishes me. Say, when sawest thou the Prince Florizel, my son?
Sir, it is 3 days since I saw the prince. He is of late much retired from court, and less frequent to his princely duties than formerly he hath appeared.
I have this intelligence. He is seldom at the house of a most homely shepherd.
I have heard, sir, of such a man, who hath a daughter of most rare note.
Thou shalt accompany us to this place, where we will, not appearing as we are, have some word with the shepherd.
I willingly obey your command.
To my best, Camillo! Archidamus, we must disguise ourselves.
I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time wore three-pile, but now I am out of service. My father named me Autolycus, who being as I am was likewise a snapper-up of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab I purchased this Capri Sun, and my revenue is the silly cheap. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For the life to come, I sleep out the thought of it. A prize, a prize! If the spring holds, the cock's mine.
Let me see. What am I to buy for a sheep shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currant. Rice? What will that sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. I must have saffron to color the warden pies, 4 pound of prune, and as many raisins o'er the sun.
Oh, that ever I was born!
In the name of me!
I am robbed, sir, and beaten, by money and apparel taken from me.
What, by a horseman or footman?
Oh, a footman, sweet sir, a footman.
Lend me thy hand, I'll help thee.
Good sir! Oh, I fear, sir, my shoulder blade is out.
How now? Can't stand?
Softly! Oh. Dear sir, oh, softly. You had done me a charitable office.
Dost thou lack any money? I have a little money for thee.
No, good sir, no, I beseech you, sir. Offer me no money, I pray you. That kills my heart.
What manner of a fellow was he that robbed you?
I knew him once a servant of the court, but he was certainly whipped out of the court. Since then, he hath been an ape-bearer, then a process server, a bailiff, and having flown over many knavish professions, settled only in rogue. Some call him Autolycus.
Oh, out of my life, prig on my life, prig! They say he haunts wakes, fairs, and bear baitings?
Very true. That's the rogue that put me into this apparel.
Not a more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you had but looked big and spit at him, he'd have run.
I must confess to you, sir, I am no fighter.
How do you now?
Sweet sir, much better than I was. I will even take my leave of you.
Then fare thee well. I am off to buy spices for our sheep shearing.
Well, prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. Jog on, the footpath way. A merry heart goes all the day.
Florizel, the king's son, has fallen in love with Perdita, a shepherd's daughter.
Florizel and Perdita, completely mad for each other, decide to elope during the festival.
But, unbeknownst to Florizel, his father Polixenes and Camillo are in attendance to the proposal in disguise.
Polixenes tries to trick his son by asking him if his father would attend the wedding, to which Florizel adamantly denies.
Polixenes and Camillo reveal themselves and chastise Florizel for his poor choice in a bride, although they do figure that she's far too beautiful to not be royal, and for his secrecy. They claim that they will take him back to the Bohemian castle and deal with him there.
However, Camillo, who has been taken from his native home of Sicilia for years, devises a plan to get himself home.
Camillo advises the young couple that if they wish to be married, they should seek aid from King Leontes of Sicilia, and he claims that he will keep their secret from Polixenes.
But Camillo lied. He promptly tells Polixenes where Florizel and Perdita are headed, securing himself a way home without taking into consideration his collateral to come.
These your unusual weeds to each part of you do give a life. This your sheep shearing, a meeting of the petty gods, and you the queen aunt.
Sir, my gracious lord, the gracious mark o' the land you have obscured with a swain's wearing. And me, poor lowly maid, most goddess-like pranked up.
I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's land.
Oh, even now I tremble to think your father, by some accident, should pass this way, as you did. Oh, the fates! How would he look to see his work so noble vilely bound up? What would he say? Or how should I, in these my borrowed flaunts, behold the sternness of his presence?
Apprehend, nothing but jollity. The gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Their transformations were never for a piece of beauty rarer.
Your resolution cannot hold when 'tis opposed, as it must be, by the power of the king.
With these forced thoughts I prithee, darken not the mirth of the feast, for I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's, for I cannot be mine own, nor anything to any if I be not thine. To this I am most constant, though destiny say no.
Oh, Lady Fortune, stand you auspicious.
Your guests are coming. Address yourself to entertain them sprightly and let's be red with mirth.
My daughter, when my old wife lived, upon this day she were both patler, butler, cook, both dame and servant. Welcomed all, served all. Come quench your blushes and present yourself that which you are, mistress of the feast. Come and bid us welcome to your sheep shearing.
It is my father's will I should take on me the hostesship o' the day. You're welcome, sirs. Grace and remembrance be to you all, and welcome to our shearing!
Come on! Strike up!
Mopsa must be your mistress. Mary Garlic, cement her kissing with.
Now, in good time.
Not a word, not a word. We stand upon our manners.
Shepherdess, a fair one are you. I should leave grazing were I of your flock, and only live by gazing.
Out, alas! You would be so lean that blasts of January would blow you through and through. Now, here are some flowers for you. I would I had some flowers o' the spring that might become your time of day. Oh, these I lack to make you garlands of.
When you speak sweet, I'd have you do whatever. Each your doing so singular and each particular crowns what you are doing in the present deed, that all your acts are queens.
Florizel, your praises are too large.
But come, I pray, your hand, my Perdita.
Pray thee, good shepherd.
Pray thee, good shepherd, what fair swain is this that dances with your daughter?
They call him Florizel, and boasts himself to have a worthy feeding. I believe it, for he looks like sooth. He says he loves my daughter.
Oh, father, if you did but hear the peddler at the door, you would never dance again.
He shall come in. I love a ballad.
He hath songs for man or woman of all sizes.
Has he any unbraided wares?
He hath ribbons of and the colors in the rainbow.
Prithee bring him in, and let him approach singing.
And forewarn him that he use no scurrilous words in his tunes.
Bugle bracelet necklace, amber perfume for a lady's chamber. Come buy of me. Come buy. Buy, lads, or else your lasses cry. Come buy.
If I were not in love with Mopsa, thou shouldst take no money of me.
I was promised them against the feast, but they come not too late now.
She have promised you more than that. Or they be liars.
Are there no manners left among maids, but you must be tittle-tattling before all our guests? Clamor your tongues, and not a word more.
We have done. Come, you promised me a pair of sweet gloves.
Oh, have I not told thee how I was cozened by the way, and lost all my money?
And indeed, sir, it behooves men to be wary.
What hast here? Ballads?
Pray now, buy some.
I love a ballad.
Here's one to a very doleful tune. How a usurer's wife longed to eat adder's heads and toad's carbonado.
Is it true, think you?
Very true, and but a month old.
Bless me.
Pray you now, buy it.
Let's first hear more ballads. We'll buy other things anon.
Here's another ballad about a fish. It was thought she was once a woman and was turned into a cold fish.
Is it true too, think you?
The ballad is very pitiful, and as true.
We'll have this out anon by ourselves. My father and the gentlemen are in sad talk, and will not trouble them. Follow me, girls.
How now, fair shepherd? Your heart is full of something that does keep your mind from feasting.
No, hear me breathe my life. Were I crowned the most imperial monarch, I would not prize it without her love.
This shows a sound affection.
Say you the same to him?
I cannot speak so well, nothing so well.
Indeed, a bargain.
Contract us for these witnesses.
Come, your hand, and daughter yours.
Soft, swain a while. Beseech you. Have you a father?
I have, but what of him?
Knows he of this?
He neither does nor shall.
Methinks a father is at the nuptial of his son. I guess the best becomes the table.
I yield you this, but for some reasons, my grave sir, which 'tis not fit you know, I not acquaint my father of this business.
Let him know it.
No, he must not.
Mark your divorce, young sir, whom son I dare not call. Thou churl for this time, thou full of our displeasure. Yet we free thee from the dead blow of it. And you, enchantment unworthy thee, if henceforth ever thou these rural latches to his entrance open, I will devise a death for thee as cruel as thou art tender to it.
Even here undone, I told you what would come of this. Beseech you, of your own state take care. This dream of mine being now awake, I'll queen it no inch further, but milk my ewes and weep.
I cannot speak. You have undone a man of 63. That knew this was the prince and would adventure to mingle faith with him? Undone! Undone! Oh!
I am but sorry, not afeard, delayed, but nothing altered. What I was, I am.
You know your father's temper. At this time then, till the fury of his highness settle, come not before him.
I not purpose it.
How often have I told you 'twould be thus?
Let nature crush the sides of the earth together, and mar the seeds within. Lift up thy looks, from my succession wipe me, father. I am heir to my affection.
Be advised!
I am, and by my fancy.
This is desperate, sir.
I needs must think it honestly, Camillo. Not for Bohemia will I betray my oath to this my fair beloved. I am put to sea with her whom here I cannot hold on shore.
I would your spirit were easier for advice.
He's irremovable, resolved for flight.
His going I can frame to serve my turn. Purchase again the sight of dear Cecilia. Your gracious self, embrace but my direction. I will point you where you will have such receiving as shall become your highness, where you may enjoy your mistress, from whom I see there's no disjunction to be made.
How may this almost a miracle be done?
Have you thought on where to you'll go?
Not any yet, but so we do profess ourselves to be slaves of chance.
Then list, and undergo this flight. Make for Cecilia, and there present yourself before Leontes.
Happy be you. All that you speak shows fair.
Who have we here?
What a fool honesty is. And trust his sworn brother, a very simple gentleman. I have sold all my trumpery. They throng who should buy first, by which means I saw whose purse was best in picture, and picked and cut most of their festival purses. Had not the old man come in with a hubbub against his king's son and the daughter, I had not left a purse alive in the whole army.
We'll make an instrument of this, amid nothing may give us aid. How now, good fellow?
I am a poor fellow, sir.
Why, be so still. Here's nobody will steal that from thee. Yet we must make an exchange. Therefore, discase thee instantly, and exchange garments with this gentleman.
What?
Yet hold thee. Here's some boot.
Are you in earnest, sir?
Dispatch, I prithee.
Fortunate mistress, take your sweetheart's hat. Your sweetheart's hat, thank you, and pluck it o'er your brows, muffle your face.
I see the place so lies that I must bear a part.
No remedy.
What I do next will be to tell the king of this escape and whither they are bound. Wherein my hope is I shall so prevail to force him after, in whose company I will review Cecilia. Have you done here?
Fortune speed us to the seaside, Camillo.
The swifter speed, the better.
Adieu, sir. I understand the business. I hear it. The prince himself is about a piece of iniquity, stealing away from the king with his clog at his heels. If I thought it were a piece of honesty to acquaint the king withal, I would not do it. I hold it the more knavery to conceal it. Aside, here is more matter for a hot brain.
See? What a man you are now! There is no other way but to tell the king that she is none of your flesh and blood.
She being none of your flesh and blood, your flesh and blood has not offended the king. And your flesh and blood is not to be punished by him.
Tell the king all, yea, every word, and his son's pranks too, who I may say is no honest man.
Well, let us to the king.
Pray hearts will he be at palace.
How now? Whither are you bound?
To the palace, and like your warship.
Your affairs there. What? With whom? Discover.
We are but plain fellows, sir.
Alive! Let me have no lying.
Are you a courtier? And it's like you, sir.
Hath not my gait in it the measure of the court? Receives not thy nose court odor from me?
This cannot be but a great courtier. His garments are rich.
I am a courtier, cap up pay, and I demand you to open to thy affairs.
My business, sir, is to the king.
The king is not at his palace. He has gone aboard a new ship to purge melancholy and air himself. Thou must know, the king is full of grief.
About his son that would have married the shepherd's daughter.
If that shepherd not be in hand fast, let him fly. The torches he shall feel will break the back of a man. Some say he shall be stoned. Are you a party in this business?
In some sort, sir. I hope we shall not be flayed.
Oh, that's the case for the shepherd's kin. Hang them. They'll be made an example.
Comfort, good comfort. You must to the king. He must know 'tis none your daughter nor sister.
I will take you to the king, whisper him in your behalf, and if it be a man besides the king to effect your suits, here is man shall do it.
He seems to be a man of great authority. Close of him. Give him gold.
And to please you, sir, to undertake the business for us, here is the gold that I have.
I will trust you. Walk before towards the seaside. Now, if I had a mind to be honest, I see fortune would not favor me. I am courted now, with a double occasion, gold and a means to do the prince my master good, which who knows how that may turn back to my advancement.
In Sicilia, Leontes is mourning the death of his children and wife.
He gathers himself as Florizel and Perdita have entered the castle.
Florizel claims Perdita is his wife and that they arrive on diplomatic business from Leontes' friend Polixenes.
However, word travels that Polixenes and Camillo have arrived in Sicilia in pursuit of Florizel, revealing that the two are not married and that Perdita is the daughter of a shepherd.
Leontes, reveling in their pleas, decides the matter would best be decided between himself and Polixenes.
A group gathers at the unveiling of the statue of Hermione and are amazed to see how lifelike she looks.
That is, until Paulina offers to make things a little more real.
Sir. Sir, you have done enough and have performed a saint-like sorrow.
Whilst I remember her and her virtues, I cannot forget my blemishes in them.
Too true, my lord.
She I killed. I did so, but thou strikest me sorely to say I did. Say so but seldom.
You might have spoken 1,000 things that made your friends better.
You are one of those who would have him wed again. If you would not so, you pity not the state. Consider little what dangers by his highness fail of issue may drop upon his kingdom.
Apollo said that King Leontes shall not have an heir till his lost child be found. 'Tis your counsel, my lord, to the heavens be contrary.
Thou speakest true. Therefore fear thou no wife. I'll have no wife, Paulina.
Will you swear?
Never, Paulina. So be blessed, my spirit.
You tempt him overmuch.
Unless another as like Hermione affront his eye.
Good madam.
I am done.
One who gives himself Prince Florizel, son of Polixenes, with his princess, she, the fairest I have yet beheld, desires access to your high presence.
His princess, say you?
Aye, the most peerless piece of earth, I think.
Bring them to our embraces.
Had our prince, jewel of children, seen this hour, he'd have paired well with this lord. There was not a month between their births.
No more. Thou know'st he dies to me again when talked of. Prince, your father's image is so hidden you, his very heir, that I should call you brother. And your princess, goddess. Alas! I lost a couple that twixt heaven and earth might thus have stood begetting wonder as you, gracious couple, do.
Most royal sir, a prosperous south wind friendly we have crossed to execute the charge my father gave me. Give you all the greetings a king at friend can send his brother.
Huh? Then welcome hither.
Please you, good sir. Polixenes greets you from himself by me, desires you to attach his son, who has fled from his father, from his hopes, and with a shepherd's daughter.
Where's Polixenes? Speak.
Here in your city. I now came from him. Whilst he was hastening, meets he the father of this seeming lady and her sisters.
Camillo has betrayed me.
The heavens sent spies upon us. We'll not have our contract celebrated.
You are married.
We are not, sir. Nor are we like to be.
Is this the daughter of a king?
She is. When once she is my wife.
That once I see by your good father's speed will come on very slowly. I'm sorry. Your choice is not so rich in worth as beauty.
Beseech you, sir, step forth, mine advocate.
I will to your father. Therefore follow.
Beseech you, ma'am, were you present at this relation?
We were all commanded out of the chamber. Only this methought I heard the shepherd say he found the child.
I would most gladly know the issue of it.
I make a broken delivery of the business, but perceived in the king and Camillo very notes of admiration. A notable passion of wonder appeared in them. Here comes a gentlemaid that happily knows more. The news, Regina?
The oracle's fulfilled! The king's daughter is found! Here comes the Lady Paulina's stewards. They can deliver you more. How goes it now? Has the king found his heir?
Most true, there is such unity in the proofs. Queen Hermione's jewel about her neck.
Yes.
The letters of Antigonus found with it.
Yes.
The majesty of the creature and resemblance of the mother.
Yes.
And many other evidences proclaim her with all certainty to be...
Yes.
The king's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the meeting of the two kings?
Have you lost a sight which was to be seen, cannot be spoken of? Our king, ready to leap out of himself for joy of his found daughter, cries, "Oh, thy mother, thy mother!" And then asks Bohemia forgiveness, and then embraces his son-in-law. And now he thanks the old shepherd.
And what, pray you, became of Antigonus that carried hence the child?
He was torn to pieces with a bear!
Oh,
but this avouches the shepherd's son, so that all the instruments which aided to expose the child were even then lost when it was found.
Are they returned to the court?
No, the princess, hearing of her mother's statue so near to Hermione that they say one would speak to her and stand in hope of answer, thither with all greediness of affection are they gone.
Shall we thither and with our company peace the rejoicing?
Now, had I not the dash of my former life in me, would preferment drop on my head. I brought the old man and the princess aboard the king. But 'tis all one to me, for had I been the finder out of this secret, it would not have relished among my other discredits. Here come those I have done good to against my will.
Come, now I am past more children, but thy sons and daughters will all be gentlemen born.
You are well met, sir. See you these clothes?
I know you are now, ma'am, a gentleman born.
The king's son took me by the hand to call me sister, and then the two kings called my father brother, and then the prince my brother, and the princess my sister called my father father.
I humbly beseech you to pardon me all the faults I have committed against your worship, and to give me your good report to the prince, my master.
Prithee do, for we must be gentle. Now we are gentlemen.
Thou wilt amend thy life?
Aye, and it like your worship.
I will swear to the prince thou art as honest a true fellow as any is in Bohemia.
I will prove so, sir, to my power.
Hark, the kings and princes, our kindred, are going to see the queen's statue.
Come, follow us, we'll be thy good masters. Grave and good Paulina, the great comfort that I have had of thee.
What, sovereign sir, I did not well, I meant well.
Oh, Paulina, we honor you with trouble, but we have come to see the statue of our queen.
Here it is. Prepare to see, behold, and say 'tis well. I like your silence. It the more shows off your wonder. But yet speak. First you, my liege. Comes it not something near?
Her natural posture. Chide me, dear stone, that I may say thou art indeed Hermione. But yet, Paulina, even with such life of majesty, warm life as now it coldly stands when first I wooed her.
I kneel and then implore her blessing. Lady, dear queen, that ended when I but began, give me that hand of yours to kiss.
No longer shall you gaze on it, lest your fancy may think anon it moves.
Let be, let be. Would you not deem it moved? And that those veins did verily bear blood?
I'm sorry, sir, I have thus far stirred you, but I could afflict you farther.
Oh, Paulina, the fixture of her eye has motion in it. Let no man mock me, for I will kiss her.
Quit presently the chapel, or resolve yourself for more amazement. If you can behold it, I'll make the statue move, indeed, descend by wicked powers.
What more you have to show, I've come to see.
Then I'll stand still. 'Tis time, descend, bestow no more, approach. Strike all that look upon thee with marvel. Come, dear life redeems you. You perceive she stirs. Start not, nay, present your hand.
Oh, she's warm.
If she pertain to life, let her speak.
Turn, good lady, our Perdita is found.
You gods, look down upon my daughter's head. Where hast thou been preserved? Where lived? How found?
There's time enough for that. Go together, you precious winners all. Your exultation partake to everyone.
Let's from this place. Lead us from hence, that we may leisurely each one demand an answer to his part performed in this wide gap of time. Lead on.